Hi guys, so today I'm going to be filming my eyeshadow palette collection and how I store my palettes. I have quite a few palettes. I do collect makeup and my favorite thing to collect is eyeshadow palettes. And all of these I have mostly bought with my own money or they have been given to me as gifts over the years. So I'm going to be filming and showing you guys how I store my palettes, and probably I'm most likely going to declutter a few. So I'm actually going to start over here, which is on top of my Alex 9 drawers. And on top of my Alex 9 drawers, I have my two bigger Jeffree Star palettes. This is the Conspiracy and the Blue Blood. So the Conspiracy and the Blue Blood, I'm going to be keeping both of them because I've never used this one. I actually just got it yesterday in my lucky bag from Beautylish, and I'm still filming some tutorials using the Conspiracy. This is just a decoration that I have up for the winter. So behind that I have this little shelf with two drawers in it. I don't keep anything in these drawers, but on top of that I have the Flamingo palette by Violet Voss, which I will be keeping. The Beauty Glazed Popping palette, which I'm pretty sure... Ew, it's so dirty. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that this popping palette is a dupe for a Morphe palette. I've never used this. When I got it in the mail, it had like this shade over here had a hair coming out of it, and I pulled it out and it like shattered the whole shade because the hair was that long. So I don't know if I feel comfortable using this palette. So yeah, I think this one's gotta go. Behind that one I have my Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. I don't really use this quite a lot, but you know, it's an OG and I feel like I just gotta keep it in my collection. And behind that I have I have the original 39A palette, which is, I love that palette, and the Morphe James Charles palette, which I'm pretty sure I have never used. This is just a candle that my coworker gave me, and this is a backup of my Amrezy highlighter. So display wise, for the palettes that I have on display, besides my Alex 9 drawers, I have this shelf from IKEA where I like to display my favorite palettes, and this usually shows up in the background of my videos. So this top shelf over here has my Storybook Cosmetics palettes, a bunch of limited edition Too Faced palettes, and this handbook for the recently deceased palette that I got from Hot Topic. On the shelf below that I have my Fenty Beauty palette. That was the first palette that Fenty ever came out with. I am a huge Rihanna fan, so I had to have it. This is a limited edition Simpsons collaboration with MAC. I am a huge Simpsons fan as well, so I had to have that. And that is the Natasha Denona Gold palette, my all-time favorite neutral palette of all time. Love it. Below that shelf I have my Jeffree Star shelf. So this is just a mirror. It's in my favorite color, chartreuse. The Thirsty palette, the Alien palette, and then the box for the Conspiracy palette, which has to go somewhere. And below that shelf I have the Moonspell palette by Lunar Beauty, the Vida and Muerte palette by Melt, and behind these I have all of my Naked palettes and some random palette here, and I just have them standing up and displayed in like a component that's meant for, you know, face powders, bronzers, blushes. And the shelf below that just has a bunch of lipsticks and brushes that I don't use, and my Juicy Olive palette by Give Me Glow, which I love so much. I love this palette so much. Okay, so we're back to the Alex 9 drawers. I only have one drawer of palettes in this set of drawers. So this is my random drawer of palettes. I have this giant, huge Give Me Glow Pro Custom palette that's meant for single shadows. Look how big this thing is. I got some like cute stickers on it. Besides that palette, I have a whole bunch of empty palettes, you know, for single shadows. And besides those, I have a bunch of limited edition palettes from or old Morphe palettes. And finally, we have my real eyeshadow palette drawer, which has all the rest of my palettes in it. So I guess we'll start from over here. These are my two palettes, like my custom palettes. These are just single shadows I have from indie brands and ColourPop. The next palette is the Remember Me palette by Amoris. Stunning rainbow palette, so cute, love it. Then I have the BH Cosmetics Take Me to Brazil palette. You know, an OG, love this. It's in the original packaging too. Then I have the Flare palette by Ace Beauté. Their packaging on their palettes is so pretty. Can't get over it. But I love this palette. I got it for my birthday last year, I think, and I pretty much used it like anytime I went out to like the bars or anything. Then I have this Too Faced Love palette. Like, I don't even know when I got this or where I got this. It's still in the packaging. I've never used it. Don't think I ever will, so I think it's time for this one to leave my drawer. Next, I have this Suva Beauty Protege palette that I got in a BoxyCharm. I hate this palette. I'm just like, I guess too tan for it. The colors are way too light for me, so this is also gonna go. Next is the Pure Festival palette. I also got this in a BoxyCharm. I've also never used this, but I want to hold on to it because it's cute, so I'm gonna hold on to it. Next is my Tartelette in Bloom palette. It surprisingly doesn't look that used on video for some reason, but if you know me, you know that I like doing like SFX makeup during Halloween time. This color story just works so well to make you look dead. So yeah, I love it. Next, I have two palettes by Rimmel London. I got this one because of the yellow in it. I love yellow eyeshadows and greens, but I haven't used it. I think I'm gonna hold on to this because I want to try out Rimmel Formula, but this is like a dupe for the Naked Heat palette, and I have the Naked Heat palette, so this one can go. Next, I have the Atlantis palette by Face Candy. I don't even know if they— what is on my nail? I don't even know if they make this palette anymore. I remember that it came out because of the April Fool's palette that Tarte was gonna release and didn't actually release it, and everyone was like, well, we want it, so they took it upon themselves to make it. I'm gonna keep it. Next, I have the only palette from the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe Vault collection. This is the Dark Magic palette. It has all the greens in it, and I just love this color story so much. But I mean, it doesn't perform that well, but I'm gonna keep it because I just love this color story. Then I have two more of the Ace Beauté palettes. This is the Grandois palette. I mean, just like look at the packaging of these palettes. They're so pretty. I used this for my boyfriend's sister's Sweet 16, and the look came out stunning. So I'm gonna keep it because there's some really pretty colors in here. And this one I just got in BoxyCharm. I have not used it yet, so I'm gonna keep it and I have to try it out. Then I have this Tarte palette that came with one of my limited edition Christmas palettes. I like to use this to travel because there's a bronzer and a blush and a highlighter in here. I don't really take it that much anymore, but it is a good one to have in case I do ever have to bring just one palette with me. Next, I have the My Little Pony and Pure palette, which, you know, I mean, there's so many cute colors in here, and I mean, it's My Little Pony, how cute. So here I have another random singles palette. These are all singles from a bunch of indie brands and ColourPop and Coastal Scents. Then I have my Bretman Rock in collaboration with ColourPop. This is the Wet palette. I keep it in the packaging because he's on it. I love him, and so yeah, I'm keeping this forever. He is my idol. Next, I have the Too Faced Smoky Eye palette. This is like one of their old palettes that they used to have, but one of my friends gave me this a long time ago, and I just don't like to get rid of gifts. I think they're very sentimental. Next, I have the NYX Ultimate Shadow palette. Yeah, I'm keeping this. Then I have this Profusion Sweet Tooth palette. This palette is like an all shimmer palette, and it's like I really learned how to do a lot of my makeup looks using this palette back in the day. So I think I'm gonna keep it for sentimental value. So next I have two of these round palettes from Tarte that I got in BoxyCharms. I've never used them, so these are gonna go bye-bye. And I have another like Z palette thing. It has my Give Me Glow shadows in it and a random AOA one. Next I have my 3 Futurism palettes from Kaleidos. I just got these for my birthday on Tuesday and I haven't even tried them yet. I am so excited. Then over on this side I have my Celestial Thunder by Dominique Cosmetics, Essentials from Violet Boss, a really old MAC and Chanel palette that were my mom's that she gave to me. These were like my first ever eyeshadow palettes that I used to use for my dance recitals. 2 of the Naked Basic minis. These are really good for traveling. This City Mini palette by Maybelline. I love the color story of it, but I've never used it, but I'm gonna keep it to try it out still. Random, you know, little 3. I got it because it was like $2 and I love green shadows. Then I have my 2 ColourPop 12 pan palettes. I have Honey and Just My Luck. And then I have the Butter London one that came with BoxyCharm. I have the Sassy Sweetness from Dose of Colors, this rainbow palette from LA Colors, which I don't even know where this came from, but I do like the color story. So it's all shimmers though. I'm gonna put that in a maybe pile. I have these 2 Estee Lauder palettes that my boyfriend's dad gave me for Christmas. I have the Makeup Revolution green palette. I love this. I haven't used it yet though, so gotta try this one out still. The Huda Beauty Emerald Obsessions palette, and I have the Certify Affinity 2 palette. Alright, we made it to the last stack here. So this is the Sugar Pill Mini Color Palette. This is like all pastels. So yeah, this is my only really pastel palette. I love it so much. It's so cute. Then I have my 2 Juvia's Place palettes. I have the Tribe and the Zulu. I love the Tribe so much. Well, you know, greens. I have the 25A and 25B from Morphe in the original packaging. I don't really like the mattes in here, but I really like these shimmers for some reason, so I'm gonna keep it for that. I have the Makeup Revolution and Alexis Stone Instinct palette. I got this for my Secret Santa, and I just love this color story so much. Then I have my Carly Bible palette. She is an OG and the prettiest girl to ever step foot on this earth, so I'm keeping that forever. And my BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette that I love very much. So yeah guys, that was my eyeshadow palette collection. I moved some stuff around in here. I brought my Thirsty palette in here so that I could put the Blue Blood up there. And so yeah, let me know if there's like any of these palettes that you would want to see me like open up and swatch or do a tutorial with. I would be happy to do so. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye!